Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Virtual Realms video. So today we're going to talk about the last banner that has been confirmed since yesterday. And we're going to talk about whether this is a good banner for you to summon and also some strategies to maximize the most amount of value that you can get out of it. So before we jump into the image here, let's just head back to the game. So last is a limited banner, just like how we had it during Valentine's Day. And obviously, this is taking place because the Kigiri banner is not coming. The updates haven't come through. And luckily for us, on the 7x banners where the updates have been going through, they are not getting the Kigiri banner as well. So I think it's sort of telling us that, they're going to release Kigiri altogether at a later date instead. And they're getting a Gwendolyn banner instead, which is also a great unit, especially if you like Northern teams. So last is a limited 250 banner, which means that no matter what, you're guaranteed to get her within 250 summons. And that means that if you don't have 250 summons, this banner is probably not for you because you could wind up getting legendaries very early on, but they can actually not be last. They can be arrogant instead, or even worse, it could be an off banner unit that you didn't even want. So if you don't have 250 summons, this is probably going to be a hard skip for you. Maybe it's better off for you to go on the Silas Vienna banner, which could be great for lots of folks as well. I know of people who have a Silas at A3 but still zero copies of Vienna, so those are just examples of how this banner could still be great for them. And on to the next part, which is PD manipulation with all limited banners. This is something that I've talked about quite a few times, but basically if you just take a look at the chart here, these are like the three different scenarios that would tell you how you should go ahead and manipulate your PD. So first one, fresh off PD. Maybe you summon this weekend on the Lizard banner, fresh off PD. What you do is you go ahead to summon 200 times, and if let's say you don't hit a legendary or you don't hit last, that means the counter still remains, your PD is still there. You swap over to the Silas Vienna banner, which is only happening on Friday. So that means you have to wait for a full day if let's say you were summoning on the last banner on Thursday. So you go over there, pop your PD, that's 20 extra summons, and then hopefully you get Silence of Vienna, then you head back to the last banner, do 50 more summons, and then you get lost. So that's going to be 270 summons in total, which is probably the cheapest example out of all. The next one, if let's say you're very close to PD, 180 summons in, then let's say you do 20 summons, you don't get last, you swap over to the Silas Vienna banner, you summon another 20 more times, that's gonna land you either Silas or Vienna, hopefully. Go back to the last banner, summon another 200 times. If you still don't get last or any legendaries along the way, you can head back to the Silas Vienna banner again and pop your PD there. So after that, you swap back to the last banner yet again, 30 more summons, you're gonna get hurt. So in that scenario, for just 290 summons, you essentially get 3 legendaries, which is pretty wacky. Almost like 1+1 rates. That's probably the best scenario that you can get. The last one is my case actually. I'm about 60 into PD. I'll summon 140 times, swap over to the Silas Vienna banner, pop my PD, head back to the last banner, summon another 109 times, and then pop over to Silas Vienna, pop my PD, and then come back for one summon to get last. But that's gonna set me back about 381 summons. So that's probably the thing that I'm wondering the most. Do I actually want to go back to the Silas Vienna banner to manipulate my PD that many times? Or do I just want to try my luck and, maybe try to hit PD on one of this on the side on the last arrogance banner and hopefully get arrogance instead. I'm not too sure. We'll see how things goes, but these are basically the three types of scenarios that you might run into. Obviously, the more times you manipulate PD, the more summons you will actually need. So if you're a whale, then this is probably good news for you. You can manipulate PD as much as you want. But my strategy is to try to get last A2. That's going to be guaranteed no matter what. And if we just head back to the game here, you're gonna see that my arrogance is at A4, so just one more awakening to get this insane attack boost on him. This is probably my main goal as compared to Silas. Silas A4 is neat. A5 is really good, especially in Samura for fully physical teams. But unfortunately, that's two Silases away, and I could wind up getting Vienna, which doesn't have all that great awakenings, if I can be honest. If you see A4 is reduction in cost, A5 is the shield doing extra damage, which, yeah, it's not that great because the shield only affects melee units, which you don't always place. So really not the kind of awakenings we're going to go after. If we do manage to get Silas along the way on one PD, then I might try to go for another PD manipulation to get Silas. But at the end of the day, the most important unit for us to get here is really Arrogance. And bear in mind that whatever I just shared earlier with PD manipulation, if you do hit a random legendary along the way that's not last, then all that logic is moot because you can't manipulate PD if you've reset it. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the video. It's honestly not too bad of a banner. Lots of people have been asking for a last rerun after seeing how good she is at A5. She could actually out-damage Arrogance in some instances, and in Epilogue Void Rift, that A5 was also quite essential for some folks who managed to clear it without any of the ancient exclusives like Valderon, Ardea. They actually used last A5 to dish up the damage. So that's just one of the few use cases, but if you look back at it, honestly, one copy of each is enough to get Samura 120k. And Void Rift Epilogue, that's not like compulsory for you to clear as well. Kigiri might be a much better option to hold off on because he's a cleanser, which if you don't have Lucius is going to be big for you for Samura. So it honestly depends on your account where you're at. If you do have questions, pop it down below, whether is it around PD manipulation or whether you should summon for last or Kigiri. I do feel that Kigiri is not going to come anytime soon. It's probably going to take some time for the updates to come through. And even then, I think it makes sense for them to, give it some time before they release another limited banner because that would just run us really dry on resources. So yeah, it's great that we have a Silas Vienna banner, not a crap banner to pop our PD on. And yeah, I'll obviously summon for this. I haven't done any summons in the Lizard banner, and right now we have about 78 summons, probably get about 80-ish by the time, and 22,000 worth of diamonds. If we do get some CC rewards this Friday, there'll be even more. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Like I said, have any questions, pop it down below. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like or subscribe to the channel. And I wish you all the best if you're summoning for this weekend, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.